Welcome to another edition of Cyber Court, where we break down situations, cases, and happenings all across the world and specifically on social media. Today, we're talking about what not to do so that you don't get your whooped by the police. Remember years ago, Chris Rock did that same video. It was hilarious, but most importantly, it was very informative. I've actually used that video in many of my training sessions for young people and adults across the country. So here we are again with another video that gives us details on what not to do to get your beat by the police. Check out the video.
They got me pulled over again, so I'm finna perform a concert in front of the police. They got me pulled over again. You wanna talk, you wanna run your mouth, you want some gangsters front your motherfucking house, we'll set this bitch off. Set this bitch off. We'll set this bitch off. Set this bitch off. Look, bitch, you wanna talk, you wanna run your mouth, bitch, you want some haters front your motherfucking house, we gon' set this bitch off. Set this bitch off. We gon' set this bitch off. Set this bitch off. I'm performing in front of fans on the highway. Cities, narcotics, them feds, them DA. We don't need you on our street. Say with me, the police, the police. Without that badge, you a and a half, nigga. The police, the police. They got me pulled. Are we going to jail or not? That's the question. I don't know. The money ready. This is pocket change. This is pocket change. If we going to jail, the money is ready. That's what we need to know. This is pocket change. 30,000. This is what I keep in my pocket to spend a day. What you make a year?
That's a nice change, sir.
What you make a year? 40? 38, right? 38, what you make a year in Fairburn? What you make a year? A little more than that? Oh, okay. If you ever get tired of working for them, come work for me. I'll pay you double. I'll pay you double. If you ever get tired of this, because you don't talk much, I like you. So if you ever get tired of this, I will pay you double. And get your sucked anytime you want it. Anytime. By black women. Anytime. Are we going to...
In this video, we have Boosie, who is a renowned rapper and artist in our country and in our culture. I know his music. You probably know his music. In fact, not only his music, but his social media presence is one that is very highly anticipated, where he often drops pearls of wisdom on us. But in this particular situation, Boosie must have been having a bad day because everything he did in regard to this traffic stop was wrong. In fact, if you performed the same way that Boosie did, you'd probably end up with your beat by the police. Let's break it down. First of all, when you're pulled over by the police, you want to have your hands visible, maybe even behind your back or on your wheel. But when this police officer pulls Boosie over, for some reason the video starts with Boosie out of the car. He has his phone in his hand and he's moving around, showing us the scene. You never want to move around when police are trying to pull you over. First of all, it's obstruction of official business, which means you could get additional charges. But just practically speaking, police officers have guns. They're pulling you over. What makes you think you have the authority to move around? So that's the first mistake. Secondly, Boosie begins to tell us that he's going to give a concert because he's been pulled over yet again.
Got me pulled over again, so I'm finna perform a concert in front of the police.
Whenever people tell me in court that they've been pulled over again, or they say the thing like, every time a police officer pulls me over, that's a red flag for me to understand or to know that person has had negative interaction with the legal system before. And what does that mean? That means you know how it goes. So Boosie knew how he should behave himself during this police stop. But instead, he tells us that he's going to give a concert to the police. And he doesn't just talk his talk. He begins to give a concert. Now, what's interesting about the lyrics, though, they're using derogatory lyrics, right? They're violent, and at one point he's saying, F the police, F the police.
That bad you a and a half, nigga. The police. The police.
I mean, he's not just singing it, he's saying it with passion. Now, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do not do that when you are pulled over by police officers. Imagine if somebody came to your job where you work and started saying, F you. That's going to arouse some type of emotion inside of you, and that will cause a reaction. Police officers are no different. They're human beings. So while Boosie's running around saying F the police and F the feds and all this stuff, he's lucky that these police officers did not allow his actions to arouse their emotions to the point where it escalated the situation. But 9 times out of 10, matter of fact, 99.9% of the time, that type of behavior will escalate the situation. Another mistake that Boosie made was the fact that he began to talk to his friends or whoever else was around. You don't want to do that when police officers are trying to pull you over because they're trying to take care of their business. And now you are really obstructing official business because you are not cooperating with their investigation or their arrest. Boosie also began to talk with the police officers. At one point he says, are we going to jail or not? Okay, that's a question that an average person would want to know. But the next stage of that, where he began to pull out a wad of cash and tell the officer that he had over $30,000 of pocket change with him, that is a no-no.
Going to jail or not? That's the question. I don't know. The money ready. This is pocket change. This is pocket change. If we going to jail, the money is ready. That's what we need to know. This is pocket change. 30,000. This is what I keep in my pocket to spend a day. What you make a year?
That's a nice change, sir.
What you make a year? 40? 38, right? 38, what you make a year in Fairburn? What you make a year? A little more than that? Oh, okay.
First of all, it's a no-no because Boosie knows that any money that you have on your person will be used and placed in your inventory. You cannot necessarily use it to bail yourself out. So it's not about you having $30,000. It's about the person that you call on the phone to get you out of jail to make sure that they have the money to get you out. Now, if you have a nice judge, the judge can allow you to use your inventory money as bail, but it's not guaranteed. So that conversation didn't make any sense. And then on top of that, he went on to ask the officers, well, how much do you make a year? And he began to say, what, 38, 30? Antagonizing the officers. And then he went even further, one step further, by telling one of the officers, hey, you don't talk a lot. I like you. If you get tired of working here, I'll hire you. That is a recipe for disaster. Imagine in any other situation where not only are you pulled over, you begin to move around, you start singing violent songs or making threats through your music, and then you tell the person, hey, I make more money than you and I'll hire you. Where do they do that? Nowhere in this country, because we know police officers are just not that patient. And then the last thing that he did in that regard is that he told the officer, I will make sure you get your every day by black women.
If you ever get tired of working for them, come work for me. I'll pay you double. I'll pay you double. If you ever get tired of this, because you don't talk much, I like you. So if you ever get tired of this, I will pay you double. And get your sucked anytime you want it. Anytime. By black women.
So he goes from just antagonizing the officer, being improper, to actually being vulgar. So ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is, that is a recipe for everything not to do when pulled over by police. That is, if you want to make it home without first going to the hospital and then going to jail. All right, it's Judge Dawson. That's my episode of Cyber Court. I will see you next time. Until then, let's go.